Hi guys, here are the 3 exercises that I was explaining in the presentation on how to work on pelvic mobility and starting to get that engagement and strength in the lower tummy and the back of our body as well. So the first exercise is going to be looking at being able to dissociate your pelvis from the rest of your body and move your pelvis independently. So as we were saying, what tends to happen post-pregnancy is we're in this anterior tilt like this, and so we want to bring ourselves back to neutral. So just even finding an awareness, that's really important. So if you start on hands and knees, you want your hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips, and try and just have this movement to your pelvis. So you want to dip your low back, stick your tailbone up and out, so you're getting a curve in your lower back, dropping your belly button down. So that's coming into an anterior pelvic tilt. Then to come back into posterior pelvic tilt, think about tucking your tailbone underneath you and engaging your lower tummy. So pulling up your lower tummy, so you're rounding your low back. So arching the low back, sticking the tailbone out, and rounding the low back, pulling the tailbone under you. So just moving through these 2 movements is a nice place to start to find where your neutral spine is, how to move your pelvis independently of the rest of your body. And it also is a nice exercise to just loosen out the low back and start to get that lower tummy engaging. So in between these 2 movements, in between the 2 extremes of these 2 movements is your neutral spine. So that will be about here. And you can see that my back is nice and flat and my ribs are stacked over my hips. So that's what we're trying to find for all of our neutral exercises, which will come now in a minute. The second one to challenge this neutral position is called our scissors. So this is our strengthening exercise for our tummy. So if we lie onto our back, again you can do a little bit of pelvic tilting on your back. So imagine your pelvis is a bucket of water, that you're tipping water out of the front as you arch your low back, and then you're tipping water back towards you as you push your low back into the mat. So again, this is just being able to move through these 2 movements and move the pelvis independently. In between these 2 is your neutral spine, so where you relax most comfortably. So here we want to think about getting our ribs in and down, like in the breathing exercise, and our lower tummy engaged. So if you can get that big 3-dimensional breath, and exhale to push the ribs down and engage the lower tummy. So like we did on the wall, you're getting that breath in, and then you're engaging everything. And you're trying to hold this engagement, hold the ribs in and down, hold the lower tummy a little bit engaged as you continue to breathe into the back and side of the rib cage. Once you have this feeling of that tummy engaged, then you can see, can you keep that really steady and lift one leg at a time. So again, if you look at my low back, we want to make sure that as we lift the leg, the back isn't arching and we're not using the back to do it, like that, or that we're not also pressing the back too much into the ground. We just want to maintain that neutral spine where the ribs are in and down, lower tummy's engaged, and you can feel that tummy work to lift the leg and to stabilize your spine. You shouldn't feel any stiffness or work through the low back. So you just want the low back to be lightly touching on the mat and holding it there with your tummy muscles. And just practicing this is a really nice place to start to get that awareness back into the tummy and a little bit of strength back into the tummy as well. So you can repeat this, try about 10 repetitions each leg and do a few rounds after a rest. But the key is keeping the control of the tummy and the core. The last one then, to try and get the back body to kick in a little bit more. So as we were saying in the presentation, strengthening our hips, our glutes and our hamstrings. Trying to get that pulley system to pull you back underneath. You can get a low step or a foam roller. Have it against the wall. Place the tops of your feet onto the foam roller and lie down onto your back. And then what you can do from here is push down onto the foam roller, tuck your tailbone under you. So again, you're getting the ribs to come in and down, coming into that posterior pelvic tilt. Tuck your tailbone, lift your hips, push down into the roller, and you should feel the bum and the backs of the legs working. So you're trying to squeeze your bum actively, push down into the roller, lift your heels so the whole back of the leg is working hard. You might get a little cramp in the hamstring, or it might feel like really, really hard work in the hamstring. That's fine, that's normal. It's just those muscles starting to kick in again and work together that little bit more. So with this exercise, you want to try and hold it like an endurance exercise. So see if you can hold for 40 to 45 seconds. Again, then give yourself a rest in between and repeat that a few times.